Hey y'all, I'm Scrub, and welcome back to Going Medieval. Last time we got quite a bit of building and excavating done. We dug up a lot of this clay pit as well as the iron mines getting set up, which is great. We also started a small expansion over here on the west wall to allow for a little bit of mobility as well as more building in the future. And we also built this nice little thing, which is just about put together. We'll figure out what that's about today. And of course, we also did a decent chunk of farming as well as surviving two back-to-back bad events. All in all, pretty successful part. We'll take those. Today, I need to do at least one thing before we end the part, and that is build 3 chambers. We're going to get it done. I keep talking about it. We're going to make it happen. Fortunately, we were already planning to change the build slightly because of how this area looks now, and that's also going to all feed into one greater expansion, which I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do anytime soon. That's another one that will probably be a long-term project, but I do think it's time we do something pretty significant. And speaking of significant, thanks Mahinolda, having 30 intellectual is pretty rad. And here we go. So one other thing we did want to test out is how the new building system works. So I think if I've done this right, because it should be quicker to go on the wall to put these down instead of going all the way around outside, I'm hoping now that they can get on the interior, the exterior goes up much quicker. So we'll try to keep an eye out for that and see how it ends up looking. This little room up here is pretty innocuous, nothing too crazy. It's a pretty small room. What could we possibly want to do with this? It's armory time, baby. Yeah, we're gonna have our legit armory set up. Gonna be our first little guardhouse. So we'll move all of the top tier weapons, armor, equipment, what have you, over to this little area. Right now, we only have the one entrance, so everyone should be over here, most likely during a siege. And in the event that they do blow a hole in a wall over here, it's still relatively quick access, so it should be fine. I'll probably end up trying to put another one over on this side at some point. I think for now, this first one should give us plenty of room to store our stuff. And hopefully once that's all said and done, we will be able to use this area and probably another area nearby exclusively for storing the stuff that needs to get scrapped or moved, because over here we now have the full warehouse in use, and we do still need to move a bunch of clothes. That might be another one we need to change at some point. With that explanation and a bunch of work already getting done, it looks like the rest of the day is going to be a pretty basic one. Also, yeah, for some reason, I think because of the new update, they just added the modding update, I believe today. I think it reset all my tutorials, so we're going to get some weird tutorial pop-ups throughout the day. It's fine. Have we been scrapping? Wow. Okay, the scrapping has been going exceptionally well. I thought this was down to like 13 or 14 last part. Sheesh. But what I was going to say is that we are getting the coal production underway, which means we can hopefully start getting the oil and bricks underway as well. That's going to be something else we work on, is we might be able to start getting the actual fire update stuff going after 20 parts. Huzzah. I'm not going to make that promise though, because I'm not exactly sure what all today's going to entail. Because the other thing I was thinking about is that we did have back-to-back bad events last time. I'm not sure oh my god, Adonia's almost up to max construction, one more level. That is awesome. I will be honest, I completely lost track of what I was just gonna say. We'll get back to that later, I'm sure. Hey, guess what? I remembered what we were going to talk about. Bad events. We have another heat wave. I think in the span of 3 or 4 days, that has been heat wave, crop light, heat wave, which hopefully these bad events means we're not going to have a siege for a while, because I've always theorized that in the background, also start turn off all the fire stuff before I forget. Definitely want to do that. I am hoping before I get interrupted by myself or the game one more time that we don't get a siege for a while, because I believe the game does try to balance good and bad. Granted, we are on very hard survival, and to be fair, I haven't... Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, so... Hey, good news. I figured out how to build a little bit smarter so your guys don't screw it up. Go inside out. It does make sense thinking about it out loud. Great. Okay, seriously. Bad siege shouldn't happen because bad events are happening is theory. Full stop. Thought is over. Oh, this is going to kill even more trees off, probably. No. To be fair, it didn't seem that bad last time. I was expecting more stuff to die off. We'll have to keep an eye out for it, but this is still a good opportunity to go get even more wood before it becomes a problem again. So they did get these built. We do have to actually set up the template properly. Yes, game, I know how to do all this stuff. I'm literally a couple years in. Thank you very much. Yeah, I need to double check the templates to see. Yeah, it's fine and above. And also make sure that clothing and hats are not allowed. It is purely armor, which, yeah, it's headgear and body gear, so armor only, fine or higher. I'm gonna let everyone sleep in an extra hour, and we'll just kind of lighten the workload for a while. Our guys have been doing some pretty solid work. I think they've earned a little bit of a chill season. That, and thankfully, with the with the new flowering we're doing, which I guess if we're sticking exclusively with flax, we could go back down to normal. But I think we're also fine to do it this way. One, because, you know, having a giant seed stockpile is never a bad thing in case of, you know, I don't know, the unexpected heat wave or the imminent crop blight. But we do, again, also have so much in the cellar, which I don't think I expanded after saying we needed to. Why would I? We're doing okay in here, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, the next one is the wooden beam, so we'll do that first, and then we'll expand further. And fortunately, now that we do have the training stuff turned on, they are going back to that. I was thinking I probably do, speaking of the upcoming need for melee, we probably want to get some training dummies down. I don't think it's necessarily as big a priority as making sure we get most people, if not everyone, to 10 marksmen. It's also not going to hurt. And again, I think those throwing weapons, we haven't had to test it yet, really. I think they'll be pretty solid for holding the line impromptu. And since we've gone too wide, we are going to need a few, so it probably wouldn't hurt to get more people ready for that. It probably wouldn't hurt to still have a few just laying around, but I think centralizing everything to start off might be a little bit cleaner. And then from there, we'll figure out where we want to spread them out to, if at all. And I guess just to be safe, we should probably have a decent little mix of melee weapons in here as well, huh? I think for starters, as far as the chamber construction goes, I'm actually going to turn the library storage into a giant-ass chamber. It's going to be bigger than everyone else's by a significant margin, but it is also going to be part library, so they will need the room. And happy 4-degree shit didn't pick up a perk. Here we go. This should actually be a nice little solid room for whoever moves in once we get that finished up. Of the people left, what are your jobs? Mehenilda, Roderick, and Bernstan. Mehenilda is intellectual, so she'll probably end up getting it. And I think she's also been here pretty long compared to the other two. Got in just before Roderick, so okay, so we'll give it to Mehenilda, and then we'll get Bernstan and Roderick some rooms. And while we're looking at them, anything they would be good for? Yeah, they're both kind of generalists, so I do need to figure out a decent spot for that. We also never built a decent stable. We will do that, I promise. The aminals will be taken care of. Adonia, I appreciate the work ethic, but literally everyone else is sleeping, girl. Please go to bed. I will say, our OG crew, I think this might be one of the best crews we've had. Let me check the things we never check, the historical log. Yeah, Alada, Godser, and Adonia, you all have been solid the entire time, and I appreciate you for it. Adonia might be pissed in the morning. Yeah, I wonder why you're exhausted. You know what? You have the extra hour sleep in. It's fine. We're going to go ahead and ignore the tutorial for research because we know what that is. And yeah, I did have an idea for this. Okay, we did build up a bunch of chronicles. Yeah, we just needed somebody available to do it. No problem. I'm going to hold off because I think I do still want to stick with the original plan. Not sure if we're going to be able to get it done this part, but I do want to at least start on that soon as well. And even though it is being built, we will go ahead and give this to Mehenilda right away. It should be done by the end of the day. Also, I just realized it is extremely dark in a few places around here, so I'm gonna actually start setting out a few candelabras, and I'm pretty sure that people work better in light, so we should probably make sure they can do that. That is probably a good idea. We're just gonna go with basic wooden ones to start off. Nothing too fancy, but we will upgrade these later. If nothing else, it will help us eat through the gigantic pile of beeswax we have on the stockpile. Oh, and speaking of, there was something I don't think I ever built that I wanted to, if I can find it. Yeah, the large water barrel. We should probably have a big one just somewhere accessible for everyone. Actually, we are a bit lacking over here on the backside. Let's get one over here. And yeah, the farm, I just realized, doesn't have any water, which seems really counterintuitive now that I think about it. So you go ahead and have a large one as well. That's nice. That is so much quicker. Why did I seriously never think of that? It's probably something that I knew and then promptly forgot because every time I pick up this game, it's a new experience because I really just play it in spurts, or at least I used to in my free time. Speaking of free time, how are we looking? I know we have a bunch of play itself. Yeah, we haven't had a chance to actually fire any of it. I think it's actually firing right now. Oh, it's the coal being made. Oh, does that mean they actually made the oil? Oh, you get 20 at a time. Okay, so we have our first set of flammable oil. We do want to make sure that the fire doesn't burn us. They've said themselves that it's technically unrealistic, purely because if it was realistic, there would be so many counters against it. And, you know, video game, gotta have some fun with it. Fire can burn anything. Different stuff has different thresholds, like wood is definitely gonna go up faster than stone. But the fire will damage the stone. So if it breaks through enough of this, it could burst through, hit the wood part, which of course the entire keep is made of, so that would not be good. I do have some ideas for that. It's all going to take a lot of work over a long period of time, but I do have plans. Although I do think the first step and the easiest one one is definitely going to be get the layer of limestone completed. All right, looks like Mehanilda's room is just about done. Fantastic. Room for 2 more people, and then we will be good. Botany, animal handling, speechcraft, and then a pure generalist because he's only good at melee. Where would I want to build a spot for you, gentlemen? Oh, while I was musing, there was a fire over here this time. A little bit closer to the base. Keep an eye out for that. I do like the fire effect in this game. For not being graphically intense, this is really pretty. I do like it. Also, just click through all of it to make sure that it's nowhere else on the map. We're okay so far. We're gonna go back to the original idea I had for rooms, and we're gonna build a little barracks over here. It's not going to be exclusively a barracks. I have another plan, and it's going to go back to an original plan I had long ago. Okay, these rooms might be slightly shorter than I would like, but I think it'll be okay still. We can compensate for it. And I don't want to build too much of it too quickly, so to start off, we're just going to go with basic wooden floor. I am going to want to build more levels to this eventually, but for now, we're just going to go pretty basic to start off. Yeah, we're going to actually bring the wall out 1 more level. So we'll do it like so. We are kind of doubling back on some stuff we did earlier. It's fine. The door placement. Yeah, I think a straight shot from there might look a little bit cleaner. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So that's going to be the doorway. So go ahead and get work on that. And we need to fill in this with additional flooring. And did I ever put that new door on the library? Probably not. I probably forgot to do that, actually. All right, go team. And I did just double check. We do have that on the Great Hall itself, so that's good. We don't need it on the workshop yet, but we might eventually. For now, the basic wooden over here should serve us well. Is there anything else we need to get marked? Aldolf is still getting this dug out. Fantastic. Oh, you know what? He is working through another heat wave. He might rebel again. It's fine. You came a long way out here. We probably do want to start getting preserved meals for this, but I also don't think that's a huge concern right away. Also, this is not looking promising at all. It's actually looking really bad. There's barely any iron under here. Yikes. Okay, definitely go ahead and start chopping some more. We put up a lot more candelabras than I was expecting to, and chances are we're going to need all this wood to build beds and the like here by tomorrow. Okay, looks like they also got all of this built. I don't think they've had a chance to actually fix these, unfortunately, taking off the apparel. Any other ones? Nope, still just this one. Thanks, Aldolf. You're probably about to rebel. So these 2 will be exclusively shields and throwing weapons. These 2 in the far corner are going to be purely for melee and shields as well. And then the rest of these will be exclusively good ranged weapons. Okay, it might take a couple days for it to get filtered out, but those should be ready. And also follow-up. Do I have apparel set up for this or no? Doesn't look like it. Okay, that explains a lot. Get the apparel in here as well. This is going to fill up so quickly. There he is. He rebelled. And it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. He's just doing some side work, honestly. There we go. Fire just died out as well. Okay, he did finish before he started complaining about it. So, you know what, Aldolf? Character development. I'm proud of you. At least it's good, solid iron deposits, but nothing else. Also, happy birthday to Chombi. Thank you, Libby. All animals are set up and ready to go. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And again, I don't think there was a single deposit above ground of anything else. I think, honestly, our best bet might be the limestone. Going back to that and just going deeper and deeper. Of course, we are on the forest map, so I don't know if it's guaranteed to not show up or if it's just a very rare thing and you just have to, like, really look for it. Chances are we might need to just start trading for precious material, so... Good news, we have to actually interact with the game in some elements. Huzzah. Okay, looks like the heat wave just ended, so we can actually go ahead and turn the regular schedule back on now. Today is going to open with a lot of dead tree chopping. Looks like they've got a couple harvests coming in, and then we will be building these chambers up. And I suppose I should probably start planning the rooms themselves. I think we want to give... Yeah, I want to give this a 2-wide hallway for a reason we will get into later. Okay, so one room's going to be 5 by 8, and the other one's going to be 5 by 9. I'm okay with that. I'd rather them be, the same, but you got to work with what you got. Since now we know the dimensions, we can start getting these set up legit. There we go. 1 full enclosure completed, and we are going to go with the wicker flooring for the roof for now. We'll want to change that out before winter hits, ideally, but if we can't, it should be fine anyway. Okay, here we go. Now that we have apparel stockpile, we actually have these with legit armor, so now we have armor that is ready to go whenever we need it. I am actually going to slightly move these around to make a little bit more sense and also squeeze in an extra couple. I just had had another idea. How about we move the melee stuff over to the middle, and we'll make a third one. And then we'll add 2 more of the throwing with shields over here. So we have so much range and a decent chunk of melee. So I think once that's done, we will be pretty well set up for being able to equip on the walls virtually immediately. So that'll be very nice. Hold on. I believe that's a new arrival on Apple Street, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Love to see it. Probably get some of these bushes and crap out of the way too while we're over here. Oh, wait, that's another one. But we did lose one. Okay, that's fair. Okay, this one is a little bit in the way. However, one does not control Apple Street, one rolls with it. So there we go. 2 extra trees, net gain. Love to see it. And chop all this little BS out of the way. Now, see, this tree, it's a birch. It's definitely in the way. Get out of here with that nonsense. So limestone mine is so close to base, it almost feels like a waste to just not do it unless it's winter. I mean, that being said, we do definitely need this stuff. Let's finish off the clay. Let's finish off the clay outside, and then we'll probably start doing some limestone stuff. Because once we do clear out a spot over here, we are going to figure out where we're going to put the stairwell to go down. But barring somebody else showing up out of nowhere, we should actually have everyone chambered by tomorrow, which will be fantastic. Because that means we can actually make the Great Hall, which means we can have a bard, which means we can start making everyone a lot happier at lunch. So it'll be a lot of good stuff happening at once. Again, we gotta deal with the caveat that once you do have somebody working a role, it does significantly slow down what else they help with and does limit them in some capacities. But one, Marjorie trained dog. Hello, dog. You need a name. I don't know why. Maybe because I've been playing Red Dead 2 a lot in my free time. You're now Poncho. Not that there's anyone named Poncho in that game, but I don't know why. Western stuff's on my mind. Okay, yeah, they haven't had a chance to go in there and put any more. I'm guessing we've been keeping up on the oil, though. Yeah, it looks like as soon as we have the coal, it does actually go over here into oil. So for the foreseeable future, I think we have oil production under control. That was unexpectedly easy once I knew how to look at the freaking edit button. Fantastic. Yeah, the rooms are pretty decently put together. Definitely can't stay in them tonight, so not too terrible. We take those. Don't worry, Roderick. You'll hopefully start being satisfied after tonight. Okay, that update might have reset a bunch of stuff because now this is even in Celsius, which, you know, thematic, I should probably just learn Celsius, but I'm a dumb American. I'm gonna go Fahrenheit. It's easier at a glance for me. Okay, and those ones got moved, so now we do need to duplicate these ones over here-ish. And since that's done, we can also add a couple of nice little candelabras for ambiance. Love it. So that's probably gonna be our first little guard shack, and I think it should do pretty good work for us. We'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, we still gotta come up with a place for all the clothes and stuff, unfortunately. But this is a good step 1, I think. And depending on what the next couple events look like, we might be able to move on to step 2 pretty soon. 800 wood. We are still keeping up with quite a few chopping jobs. Now that the heat wave's over, these should stop dying off so quickly. So we'll probably do one more round of dead tree chopping, and hopefully that takes care of us for a while. As of right now, we are waiting on just Chronicles for research. The other 2 are actually maxed out. We're doing so much building. I'm probably just gonna hold off on research because that'll give our guys more time to do other stuff because we don't have to have 3 different people doing research. I'm gonna level with you guys. There are so many dead trees east of the river that I think, well, one, we're definitely gonna take this wolf. Thank you. We might spend the most of today, if not all of today, chopping down trees everywhere over here. There's so many. It's just gonna be a very time-consuming effort, so worthwhile, but we probably won't be getting much else done today. And it's the 8th of summer. So we do have a little bit of time before autumn hits, which means we'll probably have a couple more harvests coming in. And speaking of the harvest coming in, we should be good to put this wooden beam up and then expand it further. And gods are up to 20 botany, so that's another threshold for planting. So hopefully this goes even quicker now. Oh, hey, thanks, named. You actually gave birth to a couple more. Lovely. Yeah, that's actually back to back in a few days for our chickens. So hopefully you start getting a bunch of them running around. I don't know what a trained chicken does, but we are going to do it. Presumably it does its best. The chopping may well have actually slowed this down by quite a big amount, as it turns out. Most of it is looking pretty good, though. Just have a few little specialty pieces to put in, and then we should be a-okay. And you can just see the deforestation over here now. It should be pretty good for us. Yeah, we just have so much wood coming in now. How much are we up to? 16K and almost 2K on sticks. Okay, we might be able to repurpose more of these than I was thinking about. I definitely don't want to start messing with traps until I know I can dedicate it to it, though, so I haven't forgotten about this. I do want to try and get at least this second sector filled in with wooden traps before the next siege. That might be our next project once we get everything currently built going. And yeah, I think the seed thing's going to be pretty negligible. We'll keep it on flax for now just because it is... Actually, I'm going to even turn off herb seeds because we have so much of it and we're not going to be making that much of this. Once we figure out exactly how much these cover, I'm assuming it's a 1-to-1, like 1 unit is 1 square. If it's more than that, and you do have to consider, a lot of this is grass. Grass we've seen spreads fire, so we don't necessarily have to cover everything. We might be able to leave some gaps. We do probably want to at least do it in groups though, so that we just have to hit one spot to trigger the rest of it. So I'm thinking maybe like 4x4 squares might be the way, or 2x2 rather, for total. We'll keep an eye out for that. We'll experiment with that when we actually get into a siege with the damn things. And Margeria is working her way up to 30. We have not gone to talk to that bear yet, but we've been pretty busy. We might start trying to tame tomorrow. It is also nice that we actually have the time to build for once instead of having to worry about the next siege, which means that the next one's imminent because I said it out loud. Okay, one more day and then you guys will have a place to sleep, I promise. We're not going to build anything else until this gets done. Another thing I might do, I'm actually going to hold off on clay again because we have so much stockpiled. I want to give somebody a chance to actually fire it up. So we'll hold off until we actually get our next batch of clay done, or bricks rather, and then we'll be good from there. Because another thing we might want to do is actually brick the rest of this so we have total Merlin coverage. That would be very nice. But that being said, I'm still not sure entirely what the best strategy is for the approach, because we have seen in some circumstances, like I think it was the last siege or 2 sieges ago where we first used these. The approach was a really good shot, but at the same time, we did also have somebody that ended up isolated out here a couple sieges before that, and then they were basically useless for the rest of the siege because it took them an hour in game, I think, just to get over here. Definitely not the fact that I AFK'd him or anything like that. No, it was definitely just the game. But at least until we have, you know, we can guarantee coverage at the gate, we probably want to try and consolidate our forces to focus fire in one big area and just get, you know, a giant kill or 2 at a time. Of course, if the opportunity presents itself and someone happens to be over here, we're going to take our shots. No worries on that. It's just kind of thinking about total strategy. Nothing too crazy. And nice little bit of rain is always good for the crops. Probably turn the braziers back on to low, huh? Yeah, it's starting to actually... It is getting later summer. I think it's going to cool down for a couple days, but if it keeps raining, it'll stay cold. A few people are actually getting straight to work on the construction, so that's good to see. So we'll get this. We'll touch up the wall over here a little bit, and after that, we should be caught up on construction. Oh, no, we still have these to build, so. Yeah, actually, at this moment, I think we're good on coal because we're caught up on oil, and this will be one more batch. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the brick firing because we definitely need it. And Marcus and Manila now, friends. Huzzah. Okay, looks like Roderick's constructing probably the brazier, because it's taken quite a while. Oh, yeah, brick brazier, no problem. So now we just have that. We have a wooden beam in here, and then we have the stick flooring to put in for the ceiling, and then the last 2 chambers are complete. In fact, you know what? Roderick, congratulations on your new room. Bernstein, you get the far room. But now we have nobody left to sit in these beds, so we'll go ahead and destroy all of them because they're low quality. We should also try and upgrade some beds tomorrow. I think we try to do it today. Someone's going to go to bed without one. And right now we do run the risk because we're deleting these beds. If somebody does show up, they won't have one. And I do have a plan for that. No worries. I should probably save one just to be safe, but I'm going to get a little bit greedy and try to get it done before the next person shows up. We have some people producing. Okay, good. Hopefully that means Roderick. Okay, you know what? This is his first day in the room. He didn't get to experience it. You get one. You get one pass, Roderick. After that, you're on the watch list. Okay, they're actually taking quite a while to get the stick flooring fixed up, as it turns out. I think we already deleted the bed, so no real turning back. It's fine. Doesn't help that Roderick was on build crew, I just realized, so thanks for that. I appreciate you, buddy. I think it's appropriate. You're probably going to be the one that sleeps out in the open, so haha, you dick. You know what, Bernstein? You deserve your room. I'm proud of you, buddy. Oh no, Roderick's freezing to death because he's being an idiot in the cellar. I hope he catches pneumonia. Hey, speaking of, we have a hailstorm now. Good. And speaking of good, the game crashed. Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. Now we are back to midnight of the... okay. Okay, Roderick, can I prevent you being a dick this time? Lacking in entertainment? No, you are actually having a very nice day. Why were you being such an asshole about it? Just to be safe, we won't delete the beds this time either. We can get rid of one. Roderick and Odol for keeping each other company. Why wouldn't you? Before it crashed, this was mostly a 3-speed day anyway, so Unless anything new or interesting happens, it's probably going to be more or less the exact same thing. The main reason I don't do modding during this game is that I do like to be on the most current version of the game, which, you know, mods generally have to rely on being updated every time a new update comes out, even if it's a minor change, just to make sure there aren't any, you know, conflicts in code or whatever. Chances are, if I did try to do a modded playthrough, I could end up in a situation where I'm stuck being a couple updates behind because, you know, somebody isn't able to get around to updating their mod, or they've got other mods they're working on, stuff like that. I do tend to stay on the experimental / developmental build, so usually what we're seeing is about as cutting edge as the base game can be. I am also going to be curious to see if we get the exact same event or not. You know, as I said that, the clouds started looking pretty bad over the garden, so maybe. That did remind me that we probably need to still build the garden canopy at some point. I'm not too worried about it because our cellar's bursting, but, you know, no reason to let good crops go to waste if you don't have to. But we are seeing, yeah, production. Doesn't look like anyone's actually hit the kiln yet, unfortunately. Oh, right, I have to redo this. Whoops. There we go. Try and get more clay brick, please. Roderick's doing perfectly fine this time. Yeah, he's actually doing really good, so... All right, well, I guess this is the better timeline. I hope you don't get pneumonia this time, Roderick. Maybe that's why you crashed the game. Yeah, actually, not even an event today, so... All right, I don't know when the RNG for that kind of stuff gets determined, but it looks like it's not super early. Never mind, why do I ever talk once again? All right. Oh, goodness, you didn't crash this time. Hail and sieges, it doesn't matter how good your rig is. At least in my experience, it feels like it just destroys your frame rate. Yeah, if I have a little bit of downtime, I think during the winter, I might try and build the canopy. We have a lot of stuff going on right now that I think is higher priority. And of course, the hailstorm's already happening, so it's not like we can save it. But that is something worth doing, for sure. Well, that was actually a very quick hailstorm. It's already over. Hasn't even been 12 hours. And of course, Roderick and Marcus aren't friends because why would they be? Today, they should actually get this done. Please, I'm begging you. Nothing too crazy that we can't replant in the next couple hours, so it is gonna throw off a little bit of the groove as far as what grows when, which is probably the worst thing about a hailstorm if I'm being honest, but yeah, we should be all right. Okay, here, oh, one, and they're going to break now, I think. Okay. After break, we will finally have these chambers finished. The other thing I did need to check, what do we need for the Great Hall itself? If I can remember where that is. Here we go. Looks like we probably need wall banners and candelabras, and then we should be fine. And of course, can't have workstations, shrines, or beds. And our armory is actually looking pretty damn snazzy, albeit a bit empty on the weapon racks, but we're making more of those, so hopefully that'll get fixed soon. Now that I think about it, I do think I have some pretty random weapon racks scattered around base, so I'm gonna probably go down and tear down a few of those, along with some shield racks, just to make sure everything's consolidated. Fortunately, it looks like it was just the ones we had at the start for the Great Hall, and it looks like they didn't actually have anything that useful on them, so that'll get crafted down, no problem. Okay, now that they're done with break, one last little hurrah, and then these rooms will be completed. Of course, you messed one up, why wouldn't you? There we go, 2 chambers finished. And Grisha up to 25 carpentry. I think carpenter's another one we never actually picked up somebody that was legitimately skilled in it. Nope, just Grisha being a badass. Now that these two don't have anybody, we need to figure out where to put them. And as for where they're going, I think I know exactly what I want to do with this little backspace over here we've been talking about. And to start off, we're going to go ahead and extend this like so. And we're actually going to link it to the keep itself. Furthermore, we're actually going to go ahead and block this off because now, after all this time, I think we can actually link up the keep in earnest. I've been thinking about it, and I think early game, my early idea was pretty good as far as trying to control exactly how many entrances you have on the interior, kind of making it a little bit of a maze. The problem with that in the late game is, 1, you have a lot of space you're covering, so every trip's going to take longer. 2, our defenses, again, at this point, should be primarily focused on getting people killed before they can break in, compared to when we used to have to kind of consider that. So I think being able to link this stuff up will be good at this point. We're going to also expand the workshop ever so slightly while we're doing this, out one entire space further. I think we are going to have a problem with some of the wooden beams we already have installed, so we'll just kind of have to work around those. They'll probably just end up being pillars or something to that effect, but it should give us a little bit more space to do everything, as well as additional storage. We do need to come up with a long-term plan for massive amounts of armor still, but I think for now that'll be okay to get us started. Yeah, we're actually at the point where we have 2 people training. That's really good. And one thing that I am almost going to guarantee is a mod that I should probably even consider adding is global brazier control. That would be the one thing, if anything, I would want to mod in. Just makes everything so much easier. Or would, rather. And God's returns 36 without a perk. That's a-okay. Yeah, today we should actually have a little bit of free time to get quite a bit done. Probably going to be almost exclusively back to over here with the workshop business we have going on. I should probably just square this up, huh? Yeah, let's just do that instead. That makes more sense. And this is why you always bring extra building material, because you want to make sure that you can do some extra stuff if you change your mind. A couple more friendships lost. Excellent. Who's unhappy? Margeria this time. You know what? You got over it immediately. Well done. There we go. We get this nice little doorway from the Great Hall into this new area. I think the easiest thing to do to start off is going to be to expand the workshop, and it is going to be a bit tricky, but it should be fine. Fortunately, we don't actually have that much stuff on this wall, so it should be a little bit easier than I was expecting it to be. Thank you for training Cat Margeria. We should name that at some point. And I probably don't want to go total destruction, because I'm guessing I could probably tear down some of the stuff above it. And the last bit of the first wall, and this part will be ready to expand. So far it's looking okay, and it is going to look a little bit odd given these little alcoves, but I think I can actually turn that into something a little bit more interesting than I was planning to, so I think it'll be pretty good overall. So now we will go ahead and clay brick the entirety of the new area of the workshop. Of course, we do now have this giant gaping hole over the entirety of this, so I guess what ends up happening over here is these guys get a room extension. Yay! Yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of all this wicker fencing as well, since we won't need it anymore, and go ahead and make sure we cover that up. Get a slight extension in this room going. Oh, hey, there is one more of these weapon racks. I forgot about this one. That might be the last one I forgot. Oh, everyone stop the presses. 2 pheasants arrived. What up, pheasants? All right, the first workshop extension is looking pretty decent so far. We have a bit of floor to put in. These will need to be expanded. I'll probably expand the rooms themselves tomorrow. And it looks like Sabina's just working on the workshop by herself. No problem. And we should be just about caught up on research. Yeah, I have it set to 90, so a little bit more of that, and then we'll definitely want to get some research going. In fact, I think once we get this part going, we can probably pull the trigger on research. Guess it really depends on how quick they decide to be with this part. So at the end of the day, the armory's looking a lot better. We have a few crossbows on standby as well as longbows. We have quite a few throwing weapons, decent set of shields, and we also have a bunch of armor on standby. And I think that's a gold falchion. Awesome. Looks like the last of this wall needs to get put up, so we'll actually go ahead and throw the extra bit of roof on there ahead of time. Okay, I think the problem is, as soon as I delete these walls, I'm pretty sure that the flooring I used to have under them's gone. So that is going to open up a hole both for the chamber as well as the workshop. So I might want to hold off on that until morning. In which case, we'll go ahead and get the workshop ready for tomorrow, because I don't mind losing the workshop bonus. I just don't want anyone's chamber to be messed up. And it looks like we did space them out properly, so destroying all the ones that aren't supports should be perfectly fine. And it's actually just these walls. The other ones can stay as is. Okay, looks like they're going to go to bed just before they finish the deconstruction. So tomorrow morning we'll knock that out. It will also knock out the upper floors that need their walls turned down. Yehota, Sabina, 4156. Yeah, no perks lately. I think we might have rolled them all pretty early. And we're actually keeping legit food on the floor, so we definitely need to come down here and finish this up at this point. Okay, they should be able to get around to the cellar pretty quickly, and then once those are up, we should be good for a while. Okay, slight problem I did discover. I definitely miscounted, so we're still fine. I just need to put up some extra beams and then tear down some old ones. No problem. Okay, looks like they tore down the walls first thing in the morning, so now we can go ahead and throw even more brick flooring. And this, of course, leaves us with this little room back here, which what do we want to do with this? I think it is high time that we got the infirmary put together. So we will get the infirmary bed going. This can be basic wood floors. We're not actually going to build the infirmary right away, or the beds rather. Instead, we are going to relocate the wooden hay beds over here temporarily. And for now, wicker flooring will have to be good enough to get them started as a ceiling. I guess the game is just randomly forbidding stuff that it says doesn't have a path to, even though there's clearly a path to it. That's something to keep an eye out for. And it looks like our wooden sticks are still holding pretty steady for the moment, so we are good to keep pushing pretty hard on this. Here we go. It's just going to start. Yeah, what? Okay, so this should also have the exact same thing, because I copied the stockpile. Is it trying to say it can't reach it because it's trying to fill it? Yeah, there's no locked door. I don't know why you're acting like this game, but I really need you to stop. Guess who missed 2 more weapon racks that were right in front? Okay, hopefully for real that's the last of them, and then from there we're fine. And again, we do want to keep some of the shield racks because I think that's actually part of the design. Weapon racks are not, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, decorative weapon rack right there. These aren't even that cool looking shields, and I'd rather everything just be together, so go ahead and throw these down there. We'll just keep banners up, it'll be fine. Okay, we finally had a good event, fortunately. Yeah, I should probably just turn off tutorials. And it's a good one because we smell spices. Fantastic. Let's see how good you actually look. Oh, you brought a squad for sure. Okay. You got a couple pack animals and a mule and another sheep. We might want to trade for those. Also, fortunately, that research for infirmary is just a bunch of chronicles, so we do get to keep these stocked up. So again, I'm probably going to hold off on any major research just because I don't want to have too many people in the library right now. We have a lot going on. In winter, that's also a really good time to research. And look at that, they already know where the defenses are. I really hope these guys aren't probing for a future attack. That would be really not cool. And of course, you gotta figure out who our speechcraft person is. I believe it is Alada. Yeah, 17. Hey, you know, she might actually end up being our bard. Except I think we actually do have somebody that has the bard tag. That isn't her, so once they get the bard tag, they'll start doing the conversations. For now, Alada's pretty damn good at it. No, don't go fast. I actually want you to stop what you're doing and go talk to this guy real quick. Thank you, game. I know how to barter. Okay, you're carrying 67, so not the most, but not bad. Oh, here we go. Okay, hold on. Priorities, we want limestone. Probably grab some silver. I don't know how much we actually need. Oh, you know what? I think we need that for a mirror, which I believe you need for the bard. So we definitely want some silver. We want all of your gold because we're hoarders. Of course, they love giving away Greek fire, so naturally we want all of it. And regular oil as well. Dope. Okay, looks like they have a lot of armor, which hopefully that means they want to buy armor. Because if we have some stuff in reserve that sells for a lot, that could be huge. Unfortunately, no gold, and this is all the limestone they have. They don't carry the basic versions of it. I don't know if they can sell those or not, but we will keep an eye out for it regardless. And I think that might be really all we care about. Our seed counts are good. We're actually going for seeds right now. We're starting to get a decent little stockpile of eggs. That's good to see. But while we're thinking about it, I might as well grab all of those as well. Bricks here are interesting because that could give us a giant injection of bricks. However, I feel like that's kind of a waste because we have so much clay. We just need to dedicate the time to doing it. So I don't think that's actually worth it. Same with this. We just need to actually make it. So no problem. Okay, let's see what we can get rid of. Okay, right away, that's huge. And we can make a bunch of mail armor. Like mail armor, I think we had 17 of them at one point, not even joking. Actually, yeah, hold on. Keep the top quality stuff. Sell the lower quality. And same with light armor, that's selling for a lot, even though we can make that pretty easily. Okay, so I think we've actually hit the point where we can just do weapon selling. Before we do anything else, I want to offload as much beeswax as I can because it's just eating up a ton of space. Okay, we can actually get 460 worth of gold off of him. Let's see what we actually want. All right, we're gonna grab your ass. Don't worry, you're consenting, it's okay. And we'll go ahead and grab that sheep as well because they're not the best pack animals and I think we need some. I think as a meme, I'm actually gonna grab the limestone fire pit. That, and we're definitely not gonna be able to make one ourselves anytime soon because that's kind of greedy considering what we need it for. And banners, I think we'll be fine to make on our own. We just have to do it. Can we take all your silver? Not yet. Okay, we can possibly make that happen. Okay, I was seriously considering getting rid of the fire pit, but now that I have it, I want to keep it. Let's see. We have a bunch of honey as well. I think this is about as good a deal as we're going to get. What we're looking at here, we are going to get 87 limestone bricks, 91 silver ingots, 67 gold, a couple things of oil as well as Greek fire oil, 47 eggs, 1 donkey female, 1 male sheep, a fire pit made of limestone, and in exchange we are giving away 1.5k of beeswax, 89 honey, a bunch of mail armor we can make no problem, and a couple spare longbows. That is a very good trade deal for us. We take those. And also 13 alignment towards the Kingdom of York, so that's gonna hurt when they stab us in the back. For now, it's good to have frenemies. Although I guess that means we could probably send them a caravan at some point and maybe get a decent deal. I'm actually gonna put a wicker door right at the back of this warehouse, right down the middle. And I'm also going to delete this wooden beam. This will all make sense shortly, I promise. And of course, when you do these, you do have to reset them. So all you do with honey, set it forever, and then you just have infinite money. Fantastic. Although it is worth knowing, we did get rid of virtually all of our beeswax in one sitting. Maybe not necessarily totally free, but yeah, you saw how much that trade did for us. That was so easy. 334 limestone, that is okay. And more importantly, 91 silver when we don't have any on the map is huge. And we're starting to decraft steel. That's real interesting. It's pretty cheap research, and we are at the point where we can start getting coal relatively consistently if we're not too busy. Say that we're still sitting on 40 bricks and no one's touched this damn thing, so maybe not quite as free as I'm hoping we can be. Okay, looks like the infirmary might actually get finished up probably tomorrow morning if I had to guess. And we don't have the actual infirmary beds yet, but I do want to get it set up for when we swap those out shortly. Okay, 2 medicine shelves, no problem. And we got to remove the beds. And you know what? Go ahead and have 4. Ball out. I assume having more stuff makes the room nicer, which means it works better. I say I assume, I know that for a fact because that's part of the game's design. Yeah, it's always good to try and make your rooms look nice because everyone works better in better conditions, so that's good. And I'm going to forget about this, but I am going to delete these, and hopefully they get fixed in the morning as far as the flooring goes. Okay, you know what? They're actually hitting it pretty quick. And yeah, this is something else that I think is interesting because I try to actually place floors underneath wall pieces. I don't know, it just makes sense to me to like kind of blink it into the wall, but yeah, the game doesn't like that. So it's a bad habit. I gotta get out of it. I think I actually waste resources because I'm not sure you get a refund after you do that. That is something I think I would like to see changed, is letting that stuff exist under the wall. I assume it can't because of how walls work, but I don't know. I think it'd be nice. And another doggo. Huzzah. We're not going to do it to the dogs and the cats, obviously, but we do probably need to start culling the herd a little bit at some point. It is starting to get pretty busy in here. And of course, we have all the new stuff that needs trains. This is also something I forgot I fixed before the crash. We did want to finish this little wall up just so it looks slightly better. Hey, more friendships. He loves to see it. And Marcus almost up to 30 botany. We have some damn good botanists. Bernstan, why are you sleeping in here? You have a room. I know I clicked this again. And you too, what the hell? Roderick. You guys have places to sleep. Go sleep there. Oh, it's... Okay, that's weird. So that's kind of cute. So these guys are actually characters, and it even tells us about their birthdays, even if they're, yeah, even if they're not part of our settlement. So, okay, you dipshit. I guess you're just gonna sleep in a place that's not your room tonight. Do you, I guess. That's what I get for trying to give you a better life. And oh yeah, we do also need to fill this back in. Let's do at least walls here. Or floors, rather. Walls are the big things. That's going to go here. Floor that up, because now that's going to be a little thing there, and I think that might even give me another plan that I wasn't expecting. I gave you guys such a nice room, and you refuse. What is wrong with you, you animals? But as we come up on the first day of autumn, that's where I'm going to call it part for here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of very solid progress today. Even though they refused to sleep in them, we got some new chambers finished up, which means everyone that currently lives here has their own individual chamber, which is great, because that means we can actually build the Great Hall, which should be pretty easy to do next time. I think we just have a couple things we gotta add. And of course, we got the infirmary finished and one more thing there. Then we just gotta throw the beds in. And we also expanded the workshop and more importantly, are starting to link up the keep in earnest. And next time we'll keep building. We have this to finish up. We are gonna finish this over here as well. We'll finish these rooms so they're closed for tomorrow night. And after that, we do have a little bit of free time, and there's the autumn message. Happy autumn, everybody. Yeah, we have a couple things we can do, and I do have a couple ideas for what I want to do. However, we also have a lot of little production to keep up on, so I might want to spend a day or two working on this. Whatever we end up doing, hopefully you are looking forward to it. Until then, thanks for stopping by. See you later.